Hey guys, what is going on? Welcome to Pro NoCoders Office Hours episode 238. It has been a journey. We've done about 30, no, about 40 in the last since I started. That's so cool. Anyway, hey, it is me, Cameron. I am here with myself today. If you are watching this, just so you know, this is your first time watching us. We do office hours 6 times per week. We invite our members onto Zoom. They can ask us any of their bubble related questions, comments, concerns, bug reports, so on and so forth. We can't promise answers, but we do promise that you won't suffer alone. And we get it right most of the time. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to go ahead and just be doing my own thing here until somebody does join and we can go ahead and help them out. We're going to be taking, let's see, we've been working on the Wordle app together. Go ahead and do that as well. And go back to that. Let's go back to that project and see what we can create here. Right. As it's loading up here. Get it positioned on my screen so nothing else is in the way. Okay. So I think I've gone over this before, at least the way that this data works, these repeating groups. I struggled with figuring out the best way to do it. I figured I could have one row and 5 columns, and I figured that I'd be able to split that word, be able to take the, well, if we split the word, then we're given an array, or I guess each letter has an index, right? So in this case, the first would be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. And the reason we start at 0 is just because computers start at 0. Not super relevant for this. No, not whatsoever. But at least as an illustration, I thought that splitting the text would be the best way to do it. Now, I did run into an issue when we were actually using 1 row, 5 columns in a repeating group. If we expand this element tree, we actually have 5 repeating groups. So we have one main, right? This is the word board. We're looking for word submissions. And so in the past, I think if you've seen us do this before, word submissions, we count the attempt. We typically count the user, unless of course the user is not logged in, then it's just, using some local storage. And it takes the value. It compares the value of what is typed to the word of the hour. The word of the hour is selected from this giant word list. We have it on a back-end workflow that automatically calculates what needs to be done. But so we're searching for word submissions. And to narrow it down for this particular user, because again, when a user signs in, or logs into the site, just like the regular Wordle app, we only want to display their submissions, their progress, their attempts. So the user is current user. And because we're doing a word of the hour instead of word of the day, we do need to select and differentiate between hours. So what we do is we take this time and we do format it as a custom date time with H being the custom format. And that gives us the hour, capital H. We'll convert that to a number, and now we have our hour number. And date text, we want to make sure that, of course, we can be as specific as possible. Sometimes, and especially if this is a project to continue on for the years, we're going to run into February 25th more than once. Might as well include the year as well. So that's what we're doing here, pulling in this data. Now, next, what we're doing is we're searching for a word submission. This is where it gets pretty crazy. We're searching for a word submission. So we know that this should be, this row should be an attempt. We can basically categorize each row as an attempt. Attempt 1, attempt 2, attempt 3, attempt 4, attempt 5. So how do we do that? Well, the attempt of the word that we want to load is going to be determined by this current cells index. And so this is going to be current cells index 1 in this case. And I did mention that typically in computing, indexes start at 0. Well, for Bubble, I think it makes it a little easier for those that don't know how to program. You can see the attempt starts at 1. So therefore, the index starts at 1 in Bubble. Not a big deal. Just a little clarification. Don't want to confuse anybody. But again, what we're searching for, the same three constraints or parameters as is. So it is a fixed set number of rows. We have 1 by 1. And then, of course, we have a couple different conditionals here where we're just like in Wordle comparing information, making sure that if the letter matches any of the letters in the word of the hour, that it's, we're notified, we're signaled that that's the case. Now, let's go back to appearance. So again, yes, this is searching for word submissions. The data source is searching for the word submission where the attempt is the current cells index. You can see this is applied across the board 1 by 1 by 1. Now, what's next though? And actually we should probably look at this real quick. Rows 5, columns 1, just so you're aware of how this main repeating group is set up. And one of the things that we can do, we should be able to get rid of this faux container. We did have to include a faux container in the background, so it always looked like there were 5 by 5. Anyway, so let's click on this text. Like I was saying, we're splitting this text. What this regex is doing is it's taking an uppercase. So we can actually do this real quick. We're going to go to regexer. You can see that each capital letter is its own item. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So using this here, we're able to say we want item number 1, and we want item number 2, item number 3, item number 4, and item number 5. I'm using live text, and I'm making it in uppercase because that's how the regex works. And we can test this by doing this. You'll see that it only is looking really truly for strings with uppercase. Each uppercase letter is its own unique string. And so at that point, that's going to be how we actually construct at least the grid, how we get you yourself to be able to type in something and then have them display rather fast as well in these repeating groups. Very, very cool. So it's a repeating group inside a repeating group. That's basically what it comes down to. Well, I guess it's 5 repeating groups and a repeating group, but either way. So that's the main idea behind it. And then of course we have our conditionals here where we change the background depending on whether or not item number 1 equals the words hour item number 1, or item number 1 doesn't equal item number 1, but is found somewhere in the word. You can see search for the word hour first item. So we're just taking the word here. We're going to say it contains this word submission, converted to list. Each item's value uppercase. So we're basically just using regex to take that item number. And it continues on like that. And we're saying, so if it's not in the exact position, but it is in that word, then we'll go ahead and add a yellow. And then most importantly, this current cell's word submission is submitted as yes. If we didn't include this and we were just typing it, then the color would come up this yellow. So if we just typed the words, was it geode, or I believe the word of the hour. So if we typed in anything with those letters, but didn't submit it, didn't click the enter button, it would display yellow for us. So the user would know as they're continuing through, oh yeah, this is going to be a word, and they could save their submissions. So we're just trying to not do that. We're trying to make it very similar to Wordle. I also have this down here. This is the main keyboard. You can see I've broken into 3 separate rows. Change some of the padding on this middle row to make it more similar to the way that the Wordle's keyboard looks. And I think we went over this. We did go over this recently, where I'll just show you how when this button is clicked, how we're actually changing this data. So how do, when we click this keyboard, do we actually populate a queue here? Well, very simply, inputs value, and then we append a letter. So go ahead and preview this. So just looking, it does create us a word submission for user. I have a breakpoint on event. That's why it's shown here. Creates a stats record as well. That's because nobody's been on here before. It doesn't auto-generate a stats record. It generates a stats record if somebody's present and this word hasn't been used. Let's go and click on this step-by-step. If we just, let's refresh it. I know that sometimes the step-by-step doesn't like to work. We're adding an E, and we're just appending. So it does show us that we are appending letters. One bug that I have ran into that this isn't really a fault of my own as far as I'm aware is that when you do have the step-by-step on, it does really mess with the way that this thing works here. Let's refresh it again. So it loaded. This is from the other night. This is from today. We'll go ahead and click submit, and you can see that submitted is no. And with that conditional that we have, if it's submitted no, we won't get any colors. Now, the D should, I believe, be correct. So let's go ahead and the E and D. Okay. So it loads us a new row, and then we get to go again. Is this how it was spelled? That's not a word. I'm trying to remember without looking. All right. I'm going to spare myself some embarrassment here. G-oid. All right. G-oid. There we go. So 100% of users got this in 3 tries. 1 game played, 100% won. Now, the real reason that I actually created this Wordle, of course, isn't just an exercise of my bubble skills and being sharp and there. The reason that I did this is because I played Wordle and I did not like the fact that there were not global leaderboards. Very, very much so did not enjoy that fact. As a naturally competitive person, I love video games where you can compete with people. I needed something where I could compete with people. I wanted to see what other people were doing and other people were getting. So in order to conserve screen space, very similar to how the Wordle app is constructed, I wanted to make it to where this was a slidable feature here, a slidable element. Now, this is a plugin that I'm using. This is my stats container. I have this stats container hidden until a certain condition. But if we go here, this is slide 1, slide 2, slide 3. Okay. So when I click on the arrow, it's going to load in slide 1, and I click right again, it's going to load failed, and then right again, it's going to load game. So we're given 4 different slides to cycle through. One of the things that I was running into is if we have our next button and our previous button, our next button is going to be determined by this ID attribute. So basically, we just click a button. We have a button. We'll just draw 2 elements, and then we'll assign them an ID attribute. And this is asking us when we click any of those elements, which one do we want to be the next button? Which one do we want to have be the previous button? It wasn't immediately clear to me, but if you run into this issue, you can add commas. And let me show you what happens if you don't. So we'll go ahead and, oops. And so these are the IDs of my elements, just single letters. Not the best, not the worst. I would probably say next and previous, but I was rapidly prototyping this and I wanted to get it done. So I just did a lot of that. So we can only click it once. It looks at the first instance of those elements with the previous and next. But if we add the commas back and we refresh it, we can actually click on it multiple times. Very cool. There's 13 minutes left. I actually think this is wrong. Don't think there's 13 minutes left. I feel like there are 40 minutes left. Let's go see what's going on here. So we have a minute workflow. When do we have this running? I'm just running minutes, change seconds to 0. So this should run on the minute. So how does this work? We have a static 60 amount. This is what we're saying. So I guess we could schedule a workflow to run in 40 minutes. You'd have it run in 40 minutes. And then it would start. It would take that minute and it would -1. And then it would run in 1 minute. That's what it's doing here, running in 1 minute. When does this run? When minutes is 0. That's probably honestly the reason why. It's because it's a 61. It's been offset a lot of different times. So I did this pretty sloppily, I believe. I have a very basic admin page here, beyond basic, where, again, quickly prototyping. So I didn't really label anything. Set, let's say set minutes. This was pick word. Let's just double check here. So we're going to pass in a minutes value. You say, hey, when you get this minutes, what are we doing? We're subtracting. We're searching for minutes. Huh. Yeah, the way that I set this up is what it's looking like as we started off with just like 60, right? Search for minutes, first item, minutes, first item, here it is. We have our change of 13, our static of 60. Minutes is a number. If we go back to our workflow here, we're passing in minutes. We're saying that minutes is going to be, how would we want to do this? So we're going to take the current day time and we're going to subtract it to the nearest next hour. And that'll give us then the number amount, the minutes between right now and the next hour, right? Current day time. Capital M is minutes. We're going to pass this in as the minute. It's going to be subtracting from 1. I feel like this should work. 9 minutes left. There's not 9 minutes left. Let's go to the admin page. That's what we really want to do right now. We're actually going to go here. We're going to cancel minutes. We'll set minutes. This is there. 23 minutes left. That's 47. From right now, it's 24. So not exactly right. We're doing something a little weird. So let's figure that out again. Where the button set minutes is going to schedule this workflow. Scheduled date is now. The minutes that we're going to be sending in should be. So I guess truly we're going to take this. I guess we don't have to do that. We could just say. Well, the way that this is set up is 60. Convert to number. Minus. And then. Oh. Current date time. go to change. We're gonna go up there. Let's make sure that we don't have any change. We're gonna cancel this minute. $34. Okay, there we go. We did it. So there's 34 minutes left. If we go back to our index page, and since we've already solved it, there we go. 33 minutes left until a new word, which is right. Sweet. Just cleaning it up, fixing some bugs. I also want to show you this here. So very similar to Wordle, you are given your personal data. So that's one thing Wordle does have. It has your personal data. It leads you to using your messaging app and sending it to your friends and be like, look at what I did. Super cool. Definitely nothing wrong with that. So we included it. You can see we have some sizing issues that we could probably go ahead and fix. But here's another thing. So just personal statistics, and then you have your global statistics. And so this is Wordle in this case. So it just changed. 32 minutes left because the clock just changed, at least on my screen. I don't know if you can see it. I know I'm sharing my screen. Don't know if I'm sharing everything. Okay. So very, very neat with what we're doing here. Give me 1 second. I need somebody in my office hours to give me an idea. I'd love to build it out. Even if you don't have any questions, just join in office hours. Say, this is what I want to do. And I promise you, we'll do it. Okay, I paged the big boss. Is that Tanya?
Hey, Cameron, how's it going?
Oh my goodness, it's going well. I haven't heard your voice in weeks.
No, I'm almost home. I will be home on tomorrow, actually. Tomorrow.
Oh, no way, really?
Yeah, so I'm excited. I'll be back. I'll be back in office hours more regularly too, so we can hang out and I have no idea what's up with this office hours on Friday. It hasn't been getting a lot of attention. We'll have to see what's going on. But I see Wordle or the
Yeah,
Wordle clone.
the Wordle clone. Yeah, I've been going over it, just sort of like how I built it from the repeating groups to then the logic, well, just about everything. Honestly, we actually just right now changed. If we go to the minutes, I have a minute record, and so I figured I could probably use a countdown plugin, but I created a
Ooh,
countdown with a recursive workflow.
nice.
And so, yeah, I have two very simple workflows here. One that picks the word every hour,
Okay.
and then
Okay.
one that just changes the minute every minute.
Oh, so you can only play once per hour.
Yeah, exactly.
Got
I
it.
I was really fed up with the fact that Wordle was only like every 24 hours, and I say, hey, I want to be able to
Right.
do it more. So
Yeah, I get that. I gave up on my Wordle this morning. I kind of had a headache. I should have started it like later in the day, but I
oh,
kind of had a headache and I was like, ugh. So I entered random words until they told me what it was. I won't give it away, but
hey, I'm gonna have to do that later. Yeah, don't give it away. I'll let you
yeah,
know what
I
my
won't
score
give
is
it
though.
away. But I found an app that does like the same sort of thing. So I've been playing the app version.
Really? So instead of it being on the web browser, it's an app.
Yep, it's a Wordle clone called Word Us. Word. So,
I love
but
the creativity.
I see. I mean, it was. I think Eli was telling me he was like, I never really understood NFTs until Wordle got bought by the New York Times, and not that it was an NFT, but he was like, it's something that's like purely digital in nature, and the New York Times could have totally just like created their own.
Mhm.
And instead they bought the existing one that had gone viral, and so I was like, I
Yeah.
guess so.
Yeah, I guess, yeah, in a sense that an NFT would be applicable in that. I actually found out
Yeah.
information about the guy who created Wordle originally, did it just for him and his girlfriend. And he did it with web elements. There's no backend or anything else. He did it with HTML5 and Canvas, I believe. Um, Canvas being the HTML5 element. Uh,
Got it. Okay,
but yeah, so I discovered that. I was like, no way.
that's cool.
So we're doing a little bit different here. Have an actual backend saving records so we can show
Well, do
stats.
well, do you do it the hard way or do you do it the easy way?
I'm gonna go on a limb here and say I probably do it on the hard way. But let me show you.
Okay.
So
Oh, I didn't mean in terms of creating your own. I mean like when you play
uh,
Word, you play it the easy way.
oh, I like to start with the word adieu.
Okay.
It has a lot of vowels in it. Definitely makes it a little easier. So it's like 4 vowels, I think, starting off.
Oh wow.
And that leaves you with O and Y. So if none of those, then you know it's O and Y. Um, it's either that or I like starting with the word ready.
Got it.
E and
I
A.
do. So I do it a little bit differently. So I guess the hard way is when you know that letters exist in the word, and especially if you know where they exist in the word, then you keep using those letters in your guesses,
Oh,
which is
yes.
harder than what I do is I try to get as many letters eliminated off the board as I can, and then I like figure out what's left.
Gotcha. Yeah, it can get really challenging and and get pretty annoying for sure, but that is a good approach.
Yeah, but show
Exercising the
me.
brain.
Yeah, show me what you got.
Yeah, sure. Do you want me to show you how we process it, or do you want to play together?
Yeah, let's play.
Okay, let's do that. So I'm gonna have to delete these word submissions here. Just started out. Okay, and actually, we're probably gonna want to change the game. We're gonna change the word, which I realize I could probably just have changed the word instead. But okay.
All right. My go-to word lately has been smart,
Oh, okay. Let's do that. Let's start it
but
off.
it changes on the regular.
All right. So it is an S.
Okay, but I didn't have any of the other letters.
No other letters. So we'll start with an S. No T. My next approach, I would have probably written still or something.
But that has a T in it.
Yeah.
So let's try slick. Let's try slick.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, one of the weird things about this is that sometimes you'll click a letter
And
and
it takes a second.
it takes a little bit of time. Yeah. And what's even more interesting, and we may discover this today, where we'll click the letters, it'll show all of these letters here. But then when we click enter, because I have a conditional set up that says it needs 5 letters, sometimes it won't submit. And I'm like, what? That's really weird. And then I click the delete button and it deletes 2 of the entries at the same time.
Ah, that is strange.
I've been trying to figure that out for quite some time and I haven't been able to, but okay. Not bad.
Ooh.
So,
Let's do skill.
oh man, that's probably it. Let's see. Nice.
Got
That
it.
is pure skill, Tanya. All right. Trying to see this. Oh, is there any way to make this a little smaller? I want to inspect why this isn't loading. So we have the stats. And I think this isn't loading because the page didn't look for a create stats record. So when stats count to 0, when this is why. I believe it's because the hour was conflicting with some that had already been created. Well, that's what's going to happen when you manually overwrite it. So I'm not too worried. Normally it works, I promise you.
So how does the pick word work? How does
let me show you. So I was fortunate enough to find a giant list of 5-letter words. Some data scientists have thrown this together, and you can see it is extensive.
That's crazy.
I have included a couple myself. Ewoks, Naboo, Jedis, Wowie, Frick, Frack, and another, I guess Wowie's in there twice. But some of these words that I was guessing, because I'm a bit of a nerd myself, it wasn't letting me use them. And I said, hey, that's not fair.
You're like, but it's my game. So...
Exactly.
I get it. Totally get it.
So I just took in the giant list, put it in my record, said good to go. And then what we're doing is we're searching, of course, for that record. We take the list, the word list text, and we split it by a line break because that's how they're split. I take a random item, and then I make sure I just trim it, make sure that there's no spaces or anything.
Got it.
And then if there is no stats record, it'll create a new stats record itself. Where we take the word of the hour, and then we take the hour and then the date. And these hours and date, they're used for the word submission, tied to the user's submission, so it always populates and always like is referencing one another basically.
Sure.
And then we say do this in 1 hour on the hour. And
very cool.
That's it. Yeah, pretty simple. I thought it would be a little bit more difficult, but then as I was building out, I was like, oh no, this is super, super simple.
Wow.
But yeah, so that's it. Oh, what's up?
Oh, go ahead.
Well, I was debating with whether or not I wanted to keep a sign in or sign up function.
Got it.
Because, it would be cool to be able to sort of like see, repeat users, be able to track like the longevity of them. Or their usership, but at the same time, I also want to make it super simple for somebody to just to start out.
Well, I mean, I don't log into Wordle. I just play it, right?
Exactly.
I'm not logged in. But they remember that I've been there before, so we could probably use the cookie plugin or something like that, so we can pixel them.
I'd actually so I have this guy right here.
Okay.
Local storage.
Oh, local storage. Yeah, I've seen that one before.
So you're saying that there's a different one though?
There is a cookie one. So go look for cookie. I still don't understand why we call it cookie.
I know. I'm honestly
getting hungry. I understand pixel. I don't get cookie. So maybe it's crumbs. It's like crumbs, like cookie crumbs. I guess that's my guess. No. Cookie is the right word. I'm just still lamenting the fact that I don't understand why we call it cookie.
Oh,
browser cookies. Scroll up.
Right here.
This plugin allows you to create, read, and delete browser cookies within your app.
You could save certain.
You can save certain information for a user without him or her being logged in. So that's
Okay.
probably the right thing.
Let's go ahead and try this out. I know that there's a value and a key. With at least local storage. I was trying to figure out local storage. Let's see, where in my workflow? I think I deleted it actually, because it would be when page is loaded, wouldn't it be? Yep, I've deleted it. Okay, not a problem. Let's get rid of this guy.
Bye.
And then it would be cookies. Let's put it right here. Okay, and you've used cookies before?
I have not. Let's do it.
We're gonna do it together. We're gonna figure this out.
Yep.
All right. We can go to the demo, but we have, it looks like actions: create cookie, read cookie, and delete cookie.
Yep. So we can create probably on page load. Yep. That was my instinct.
Okay, cool. So give the cookie a name. I guess what we're gonna want to store is the users, or just the user.
Yeah.
Now we need to give it a value. So here's where it gets tricky. So we would typically use the user's email to reference them as a user.
Yep.
Now, if they're not logged in, the next best thing.
So even not logged in users have current users like unique ID.
So we could still use the current user because.
Yeah, current user unique ID.
Expiration.
Go 6 months. I wonder if they're looking for a date.
Oh no. Oh, number of days. Oh, okay.
Yeah, so 180. That's like the normal.
And so we should do this only when, I guess, the current
Yeah, so only when we want to check and see if this cookie exists. Cookie's value.
I guess I would say doesn't contain current users unique ID.
Yeah.
So we have that condition. Now we need to load a cookie though. And this is only when the value does contain. That's my initial thought, at least.
I guess.
So the name's the same. So we're saying that if this cookie's value doesn't contain this current user's unique ID, then we're going to create it. And then we're saying we're going to read a cookie if the value contains the user's unique ID. I don't know if we actually should have a conditional on this.
I don't know.
Now, the real thing is, how do we test this? What do we want to do to be able to test this?
So I guess we would want to. So we're creating a cookie. So like what I want to know is when we create a cookie, what's the other option? It's create, read, and what?
I think delete.
Delete the cookie. Create, read, and delete. So like we also at the same time want to create something in the database, probably not a real user, right? But probably like a fake user table.
Yeah, might as well. Let's call it fake user.
Fake user.
We'll just call this test data, I guess. This should be just the unique element or the unique ID, right?
Yeah, exactly.
All
and
right.
We want to create that so we can match them.
Fake user, we'll say test data equals cookies. This is cookie A. Yep. Okay.
Yep. And then we want to, so we only want to create a fake user when one doesn't already exist with that same data, the test data field.
That is correct. So only when fake user
count is less than 1. And then we would want to probably set another field here
Yep.
and do a visit count.
You want to just say count?
Yep. And then just set it to 1 since this is creating it. And then have another action to modify a fake user if it already exists.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
Make sure, I guess result of step 7, this user, correct?
No, because step 7 won't actually have a result if it doesn't run. So the thing to change would be do a search for. Yeah.
Now, the constraint that we'd be doing here, so we're saying create a new fake user, and then we're going to make a change to a fake user in the event that this user...
Oh, actually, right now you have it set to make changes to a list of fake users. We needed to make a change to 1.
You're absolutely right. And make changes to the first item's fake user where the test data
equals the current user's unique ID.
You want to be changing the count then? All right. You think this is good to test?
I'm just trying to think of how this works. Okay, so the page is going to load and it's going to look for cookies doesn't contain.
Should we set this conditional to be looking at the fake users? Say we'll run this when the fake user doesn't contain them.
Right. So my understanding is a cookie is something that's being stored on the user's browser, right? So I think the first thing we need to do is try to read a cookie and determine if they already have one.
Gotcha. And that would be done with this conditional, to my understanding. Because this cookie should be looking at their local storage or their cookie. So this value should automatically be taking, I think, right?
Yeah, I think so. Let's just, I mean, it doesn't hurt to run it and try.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see. So I'll run it. Page is loading. Okay. Did not load the unique ID though. So it created a fake user with this value of this cookie.
Oh, what we wanted to do is create the fake user with the current user's unique ID.
Right here.
Because we're creating the cookie and we're also creating the fake user. And then in the future, what we'll do is we'll be comparing those two things. So the cookie itself might not have, it might have run the create a new fake user before it ran the create cookie. That's called a race condition. And so that's probably what happened. So go in the,
delete this guy and
yep, and just reload the page and see what happens.
Do a step-by-step. Let's see. Oh, that was too late. Ah, there we go though.
Yeah, and the count is 2.
Now, I'm actually curious about the count being 2 because we deleted the initial count, right? So it should only be looking at 1, right?
I had this happen the other day, like yesterday maybe. I was like, why is it doing that? It was with our member Chris, and he had just created the thing, and I couldn't figure out how it counted 2 already. It's weird.
Huh. Did it again. I'm going to run a step-by-step here and see what's going on.
Yeah.
So running a bit of CSS in the very beginning. Running some JavaScript. This is actually, it prevents you from adding a space if you were to use your keyboard. Just in the event, maybe you added a space. Okay, so we're creating a cookie. Cool. This does look like it's working. Don't need to read a cookie right now. We're creating that fake user with the count of 1. But then we're making a change.
Oh, then we're making changes to the user.
Okay.
Got it. Okay, so maybe what we need to do is separate those two things out into custom events. and only trigger the custom event that makes sense.
Okay. Yeah. Do you want to separate create and make changes in custom events?
Yep. So one for each, and then we trigger the one that gets triggered is the one that should run.
So we'll create fake, and then we'll create new, or modify fake rather.
Mm-hmm. You have fake users.
They're not real.
They're not real.
We're gonna take this guy. Cool. And then we're gonna take this guy. Okay. And then we're going to set a custom event. Oh, I should probably create fake and then modify fake. Okay.
I saw the coolest thing ever, Cameron.
What's that?
Eli is playing around with changing the entire look of workflows.
Oh?
Yeah.
How's he doing that?
Eli magic.
Yes.
Like,
that's fair.
He submitted, as far as I know, he submitted our extension finally. I'm not saying that to be mean or anything. I'm just saying like it's just taken us a long time because we've been putting final touches on it. So we've got it submitted to Google, and so maybe we will have an extension for everybody to install next week.
No way.
Yeah.
Serious. Oh, that's so cool.
Especially now, since in the new responsive you can move, you can drag and drop the elements in the element tree. Well, Eli's making it so you can pop the element tree out into its own box on the screen.
No way.
You can move it around. Yeah.
I absolutely love that. I will use this extension. Guaranteed.
Cool. Yeah. I think a lot of people will. So we're excited.
Cool.
So, okay, let's keep going.
So we're gonna trigger this. We're gonna create this only when that cookie value hasn't been seen before, or rather when the fake user's value doesn't include the cookie value. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. I just wanted to make sure I had that right. So we're going to take this fake user. Well, we actually see search for fake user. First item.
We have to constrain it though.
Yeah. I planned on doing that. Just first item test data doesn't contain cookie A's cookie value, and we're looking for. Is this a bit redundant, maybe strenuous?
Oh yeah, I think I see what you're doing. So the trigger create the fake user. If we look at the fake users, and
we could use a count as well.
Cookie value. I that's what I was thinking is we could use the count if the count is less than is what I usually do.
That is probably smarter here. So if it's less than 1, where the test data equals this value. Cool. Okay, yeah, might as well just do that. And then we'll trigger the modify fake value if it is 1.
I would say greater than 0. I don't know why. I just don't like the is when we're using counts.
Gotcha. Well, I'm gonna do what you say.
Yeah, I'm superstitious. I know, like I just tested yesterday. Maybe it was on office hours, maybe not. I can't remember, but I just yesterday found that now you can get the hand cursor if the icon itself has a workflow on it, where it used to not do that. So you'd have to put the icon in a group.
Oh yeah,
in order to get it. But now you don't have to do that anymore. So
that's actually pretty cool.
That's cool.
That is, yeah. So let's see what's going on. That didn't work, it looks like. So it does trigger the create fake because this fake user test data is empty. Cool. Count 0. Yep. And then it doesn't modify because the fake user count
was 0. Okay, so, and did it create it correctly?
Yeah, so, but here's the issue. So I just refreshed it. I'll do it again here. And it creates
So it
one.
still created a new one. I think we're probably confusing bubble, and we're not using the right constraints.
Yeah, so it's looking at the value here. So if we were to look at here, we're creating a fake one. And we're saying we're going to create a fake when the test data equals this cookie's value. It's saying that this cookie's value is empty.
Well, hang on a second. So you're gonna have to slow down for me.
Oh yeah. No
I don't only think almost as fast as you do when I'm in control of the mouse.
Yeah.
So let's go to the okay. So the trigger, the create fake, on step 7 there.
Oh, on step 7 here. Yes.
Okay. So that is search for fake users, and the test data equals cookie A's cookie value.
Now,
and I think it's read cookies value.
You're saying as in the operation?
Right. I think we need to determine if there's we probably need to separate 5 and 6 into custom events as well. Because we need to determine if there's a cookie all present, and if there isn't, then we should create it. And then if there is, we should read it, and then
I want to try something here where I want to see what is happening, because I haven't been really paying too much attention to the create stage, but we're creating here. So cookies value doesn't contain user ID. And at this point, it doesn't, I guess, right? But here it does say that when we are creating it, the value of this cookie is now the current user's unique ID. So it should be creating it. And we don't need to read it, but
you shouldn't have to create the cookie each time.
No, I just deleted the stuff though. But yeah, let's try that again. Let's see if we do another step by step and refresh it, if it does create it each time. Because then that'll be another problem in itself. Oh, it does. Okay. And that's probably because we're not reading it first. We should probably be reading the cookie first before.
Right. Exactly. And then when we read the cookie, I wonder if we get a result. So I wonder if the condition on creating a cookie could be only when the results of the previous step is empty. Nope, doesn't look like it's an option.
No. Okay.
But maybe but you could do only when read a cookie, maybe. I don't know if you can read it there. Probably not. Nope. No. Only when.
But maybe this condition will still work because we are referencing at least the cookie. So if it's red, it might load it. I don't know truly how cookies work, but we'll try it here. I know that we do want to read it first, though. So we're reading it. Cool. It doesn't really tell us anything. Okay. And it did work. Because it says that when it doesn't contain. Cool. Okay. So we don't need to trigger a fake one, but we do modify it. Oh, we did it, Tanya.
Whoop, whoop.
Nice. Cool. And so it's going to modify the first item. All right, let's start from the beginning here and let's see if it actually works. Or refresh. Cool. Wait a second.
No, we don't want that.
No, you're doing the wrong thing. Okay, let's do this one more time. So we refresh. We know that it reads it. And we're creating this cookie. When it doesn't contain. Wait a second. So this is saying only when it's actually not running this because the value does contain the current user's ID, which is a good thing because that's what we want it to do. Ultimately, that's what we're telling it to do right here, right? Wait a second. So maybe this conditional should be.
No, with the only time we're going to use, I think the problem I was having is that there's only two places where I think we use the current user's unique ID. And that's when we're creating a cookie and then when we create the fake user, right? So we're then every subsequent time we're not we're going to be relying on looking for cookie A's value and seeing if a fake user with that cookie's value exists. Because I don't think we can trust that the current user's unique ID is going to stay the same from session to session.
Oh, interesting. I wonder.
Which is why we need the cookies in the first place. Because if the current user's unique ID would stay the same, then we wouldn't need the cookie because we could just use that ID instead.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Especially if the user's ID is changing. Yeah, I'm sure Bubble does that too. That makes sense. Okay. So we'll read the cookie, right? This is what we want to do just to make sure that a cookie exists. And then what we're saying is we're going to create this cookie if the value. So we'd want to look at the count.
We would want to, we're creating a cookie when the cookie A's value is empty.
So read the cookie, create the cookie when that value is empty.
Which it will be empty if it doesn't exist, right?
Yeah, I mean,
need to read up on how this cookie thing works.
Yeah, we've got into this very blind, not gonna lie.
Like, I feel like we probably should have opened the manual.
Yeah, probably. It's like taking up an IKEA set and being, why won't this thing, why won't it work? All right. Yeah, reading instructions, whatever.
Whatever.
We'll see what they have in their demo page.
I mean, I'm a pretty advanced bubbler for not using the debugger like almost ever.
Oh, the debugger is my best friend.
I know everybody loves the debugger and I hate it. I'm like, you're slowing me down. I'd rather read Bubble's mind, thanks.
Honestly, though, I think that's probably strengthening your brain in other areas that other people aren't getting. Yeah. So,
but I mean, it creates all those superstitions because I think something works a certain way, but it's totally not the way that it works.
I love that. All right, so it looks like they have manual workflows for create, read, and then delete. So we'll just, I gotta change my autofill. I don't have an S right there.
Your name's not Casmeron.
Not today, it's not, no. All right, so this is the user. I'd imagine this is the name, this is the value, and this is the expiration. So we'll create it. If we load it user, check that out. And then I guess if we type in user, no. Okay.
Well, I think if you type in user and read it, now it's deleted.
That makes sense. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So that's the way that it works. Now, do we get a debug mode equals true? Fingers crossed. This is taking forever.
Fingers crossed.
Man, when you get to these plugin pages and they don't have an editor view, it's always a bummer when you try this and it doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we've been getting a bunch of notifications through Discord about Bubble also. I guess their main clusters have been going crazy.
Today?
Yesterday? And today, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Whew. It is a rough time in the world out there.
Yeah. Honestly, everything's going crazy right now. So
I'm like, Bubbles had a rough time of it. Bubbles had a rough February, but I think everybody's had a rough February. So I'm like, come on, the Ides of March. That's not any better, right?
I don't think so.
Beware the Ides of March.
All right, so I didn't do a step-by-step, and I should have done a step-by-step just to see how it's working. Let's clear this. We'll load, cool. Okay, so we'll start with user. We'll type in the value, and we'll say 180 days.
Step by step. Yeah, there you go. So we're just reminding me.
And then we'll click create. And so what we're doing here doesn't look like there are any conditional set. This is a very manual process.
Yeah.
Not a problem, but we are creating it. And then when we read it, pretty simple. It's just looking for that name. And then it loads it. Okay, cool. So honestly, we're doing it a little bit differently, where we're first reading it and then but let's do this. So if we refresh it though, we should just be able to plug in user and it should keep me here because we have 180 days for that expiration.
Yeah.
Wow, it is taking forever though. I wonder if they have just a huge assortment of different pages and people are using them and so on.
Maybe?
I don't know. I'm building the customer service app out. So what I've originally built, and then we're adding on top of it, and it's starting to get a little slow. I think I'm gonna have to up the plan. But yeah, it looks like the cookie does work.
Do me a favor, and I know it's going to take a long time, but do a hard refresh. Do like Control Shift R. Are you on a?
I'm on a PC. Yeah,
okay,
currently.
Cool. That'll work.
You're like, I know it's going to take a while. Yeah, you're not wrong. Just thinking about it. Do I want to treat these users?
It's considering it.
That's it. Yeah. It's like Mr. Burns with his fingers. He's like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. It's persisted beyond that. Now let's clear your cookies for this page. So just copy the anti-code plugin.bubbleapps.io part.
Got it like a private browser.
Yep. And then if you go, you're using Chrome.
Yeah.
Okay. So just open up a new tab. Or actually, you could do it in that one. Yeah. So open up the new tab, and then just go to site. So type in site settings or whatever if you want to
like
get
this.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not the way to do it. I am completely fine with clearing.
No, we don't want to do it for all of them. We just want to do it for this one.
Huh, I've honestly never cleared it for just one page before. Yeah. Where we go? Settings, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, settings. We want like site settings because we want to find that specific site and clear the cookies and history from that site. Oh, it looks like you had individual websites listed there.
Okay. And then this page is anti-code plugin.
Yeah.
On real quick. Would it be a bubble sign?
Maybe. Huh. Hang on a second, because in my... Oh, it's Chrome : / settings / site data. Yep. Oh, you're not in Chrome. You're in Brave.
Yeah, I mean, they're pretty similar, but here, this is what I'm going to do.
Okay.
I'm just going to open up a private browser. I think a little bit easier.
Well, I'm going to test it. What is it called? It's called.
I'll put it in chat if you don't mind.
Yep, that's good.
So it definitely isn't looking at any of the cookies that I have, which is expected. We like this.
Well, I think in a private, you tend to not have any cookies, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Because cookies are what make it not private.
Do you want to share your screen?
Sure. Let's see that. Hang on a sec. Can't be measured. I can't. I don't know the number for
I love it.
All right, let's read here. Can't be measured. That's right.
Yeah.
And then now what I want to do is I want to go to. I have it stored here.
Well, I even typed in right there, search cookies, and it didn't come up.
Code here, and I'm going to delete. And then I'm going to click this link again that you sent me in the chat. I know. I made this rabbit hole go way deeper than it had to.
But we like it though.
But I'm like curious. I'm like, okay, well, let's see what this,
Yeah, exactly.
What can it withstand? All right, so now I'm going to put Tanya. And yep, it deleted the cookie, so it can't be read anymore. So
we like that.
We like that.
So now the main goal here is just getting the logic in this cookie, because obviously in that process it's very manual. Now we want to automate it to where if the cookie, so again, I'm still on the idea here that we want to read it first. And if there is no data in the red cookie, then we create the new cookie.
Exactly.
And then if we create a new cookie, by that logic, we want to create a new user.
Yep. You want to go ahead and share your screen?
Yeah. Let me get back here. Where did the bar go? Okay. My screen's so big, I'm on like a 28 or like 30-ish inch. So I lose track of certain things sometimes.
I'm so excited to get home to my 32-inch screen. I can't.
Oh, yeah, because you're on that tiny little dude right now. Yeah.
I am, but I really like my portable monitor that I bought. It's made my whole experience much nicer.
That is very awesome. Is it, I can't remember, is it dual screen or is it just a single screen? Like, are you able to?
Well, I have my laptop and then I have the portable. So what I've done is I brought my external keyboard and wrist pad and mouse, and then I'm using the portable monitor as like right in front of those. So that's almost like it's my laptop, right? So it's right in front of me. So it's much more comfortable than trying to use my external keyboard and mouse with my laptop, because then my screen is not only small, but it's farther away from me that way.
Gotcha.
So,
okay.
Yeah.
Not bad.
We'll set up the mobile office at the coffee shop again so you can see how it ended up working out.
Yeah, I'm excited. Yeah. All right, so here we are reading the cookies. And so the problem that we're having now is that we're creating a new cookie, or at least it's not letting us create a new cookie. I think the conditional way said that it wasn't running. We'll go ahead and, yeah, right here, create a new cookie. It's so because the value isn't empty, right? So we're not creating one, but then we're also not creating a new one, right? we're modifying this one.
So we could.
Now,
I don't think we need to. Hang on. I don't think we need the read at all. Or yeah, I think all we need is the create. I don't think we need either step 5 or step 6. We only need step 7 and step 8. Because what we can do is we can just say trigger the create fake when cookie A's value is empty, and then we can do only when cookie A's value is not empty to do step 8. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so we're going to be creating a new one when you said that the value is empty. Is that right?
Right.
So we'll get rid of this.
And we'll get rid of that one as well. So we're going to create it only when the value is empty, because it doesn't exist if it's empty. And then step 6, we will modify it when it's not empty.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. All right. Empty, not empty. Then down here, when we're creating a fake one, we are going to want to create the cookie as well.
Yeah.
Where this will be user, and then this will be current user's unique ID. Expiration. Is there an unlimited number that you can put? I guess just like 9999999.
Probably, but I think a lot of browsers will limit it to 6 months anyway. I think. I'm not sure.
So we're creating the cookie here. We don't really need to modify. Should we be doing
We're just
anything?
modifying. Yeah, so the only thing we're doing is modifying the fake user. We're not modifying the cookie. So when they log in, that's just to make the count go up because they visited again.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so just recap here. When the page is loaded, we're going to be triggering this workflow based on the cookie's value. So if it's empty, cool, create a new one where then we actually modify the cookie, or create a cookie rather. And then this will run if the value is not empty. So that's assuming that this user's been on the site before, already has a cookie, and then we'll just modify the count here. So we'll take this count.
Yep, this fake user's count plus one.
one.
And then and for create fake, did we set it to 1?
I believe so. Yep.
Yep. Okay, cool. So now it should work.
Oh, let's actually.
The problem is you're gonna have to delete that cookie.
Oh yes, huh? Well, actually, this page just reloaded and they created one, right?
Okay. Yep, that'll work. Please work. Nope.
No.
Work again. What is going on?
I do think that we want to read it though. I'm under the assumption that's probably going to be the way that it's going to determine, because it needs to reference the name to find the value, right? So let's see if this works. We'll refresh it. Cool.
The problem is it's like.
Gee, these are the same values too.
Right. The cookie A's value is not. That shouldn't be running if the cookie A already exists.
One of the weirdest things that I've been running into is that for us, so we're looking at this logic and we're saying, yeah, this makes sense. I don't know why this has happened on multiple apps, but when we do a run step by step, it lets Bubble think about it and run the way that we're thinking about it. So I want to try that out and see if maybe something is up or it's running too fast. I don't know, but cool. It's reading it. So it's not going to create a fake one this time. because the value, well, I guess, is not empty. And so now it's modifying it. Count 2.
It's that race condition again. No.
Huh, right. Yeah, let's try it one more time. Not doing that. It is modifying it, where we're changing this count to 2. This user's, yeah, count +1.
This is why I hate the debugger.
Yeah, you and I are both looking at this going, wait a second. Okay, this is weird.
The debugger lies.
It is definitely lying and spitting in our face right now. Yeah, so based on this debugger, it's saying that this is exactly what should be happening. So we're searching for this user with the test data where it equals the current user's ID. Rather, I think the test data should be looking at the cookie's value. Maybe. Doubt that doesn't change anything, but. And then we'll reference this as the value too. See if that changes anything.
Well, but
because we're creating the cookie here with this value of the current user.
Yeah, but you don't know which of those 2 steps is going to run first. Like Bubble might start running step 2 before step 1 has happened, because Bubble does not run those steps in order. It's misleading.
Can we do? We can't.
What were you going to try to do?
Reference step 1.
The results of step. Yeah, that was what I was trying to do before.
Yeah, that's annoying.
So we could create the cookie and then trigger a custom event to do it. Well, or we could send it maybe to the back end or something.
Yeah, actually, we probably could. So we have the read here.
Well, we probably can't create the cookie on the back end. I take that back.
Well, we could pass the cookie's value through the back end, though.
That's true. Which would slow things down. Maybe. But you still can't refer to the previous steps, so I don't know how to. Bubble, go faster. Bubble, go slower. Bubble.
Yeah.
Speed up. What's taking you so long? Go faster. No. Slow down.
It really is like
I'm
that.
Sorry,
with Bubble.
I'm sending you mixed signals, Bubble.
I gotta get this Bubble a Valentine's Day card. It's flowers. Might make up its mind.
Be my Valentine.
So I want to try this out, changing that information. We didn't change a whole lot, but so we have 1.
Oh, but that created it, but it was empty.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I created the cookie. So we could say, I'm honestly on the idea here that when we are triggering this, when we're creating a fake one, we should probably be creating a cookie here and then triggering a backend workflow, passing in that cookie's value.
Got it.
So we could try that. Call this cookie, and then I guess value is would be a well, it would be a user, wouldn't it? The unique ID, or should we just do text to be safe?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Go here when the page is loaded. So we'll create a cookie, but then after that, we'll schedule this API workflow. We'll need to create the cookie here. Whoa. Value, current users, unique ID, expiration. There we go. Okay. So we'll not worry about that right now. Although it's probably pretty important, but okay, whatever. So then the value we'll just say is the current unique or current user's unique ID. Let's not create the cookie here, I guess. We'll see if we can do it here. Oh, no, we can't.
No.
Huh.
Nope.
I don't like that. Not fun. I mean, it makes sense conceptually, right? Like passing that the back end and then
well, the cookie is created on the user's browser, which makes sense why we can't send it to the back end.
Yeah.
So we have to create the cookie on the front end, and we should be able to pass a value to the back end. But I think just like it's one of those things that I would probably spend 4 hours trying to figure out on my own. Just like slowly and methodically checking off in my head all of the boxes that I'd have to check, whatever. But once we get those conditionals right, I think we could probably make it work.
Yeah, I'm under the assumption that it's not impossible. It's just tricky.
Yep.
We're gonna have to tackle this later, though. We could probably spend hours on this for sure.
Definitely.
But appreciate your assistance as always, Tanya.
Hey, of course.
Very, very excited that you're going to be back tomorrow. Welcome back. This is a
Thank
premature
you.
welcome back, but it is needed.
Yes. No, I'm very excited to get back. And yeah, I hope
has it been fun though? Because you've been over in Georgia, right?
I was in Houston for several days, and then I came to Georgia for the last 2 weeks. And it has it's not, I wouldn't say that it's been fun, but then the purpose of it wasn't supposed to be fun. Houston was fun.
True.
I had fun in Houston, but
did you do any touristy things in Georgia though?
Nope. I only did touristy things in Houston. In Houston,
Gotcha.
I went to my sister's play twice, and then we went out to dinner a couple times. We had wonderful food, actually. And then I did go to the NASA Space Museum in Houston.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah, that was cool. In Georgia, I've just seen a bunch of hospitals.
Not cool at all. Have you ever been by any chance to the Coke factory though in Atlanta?
I have not. I've never been there. I've
my
been
goodness.
to the aquarium though. Have you been to the aquarium?
I haven't. No, I actually haven't been to a single aquarium in my whole entire life. Not gonna lie.
What?
No aquariums. No.
Yeah, we did the backstage tour kind of thing of the aquarium a few years ago. It was fantastic. It was a lot of fun.
Like that actually, yes. I have seen a lot of my friends because there's an aquarium up in Phoenix.
Mm-hmm.
So I've seen a lot of their Snapchats and it looks awesome. It definitely does. I'd love to because they're like the glass like goes over you and the fish and every other little aquatic animals swim in there.
Yep.
Would be super cool. Now, it's a little too late for you, but if you are back in Georgia, you absolutely should go to the Coke factory. They have sodas from around the world.
Mm-hmm.
And there is this one soda from Italy, and I'll never forget this. It is the most putrid, foul tasting soda in the world, but it apparently is consumed in mass quantities in Italy.
What?
I am dead serious.
But the Italians have such great taste. How could this have happened?
I know it should be illegal. It should be. It's almost a war crime. But you have to go check it out, though. That's the thing.
All right, I will definitely.
But, again, super grateful for you showing up.
Just
want to sign off and say thanks for tuning into Office Hours. For those watching at home, we're going to be moving typically into after office hours now, where our office hour members get to show their more sensitive projects that maybe they don't want to share with everybody else. So until next time on Monday, enjoy your weekend and have a good one.